Paul is one of the most respected jazz guitarists in the country. So how did this musician from Mahwah end up in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame? Well, a lot of it has to do with the fact rock and rollers want to be electric.
Just let me hear some of that rock and roll music, any old way you choose it.
Les Paul literally electrified rock and roll by creating the solid-bodied electric guitar. Its remarkable ability to sustain sound has made the Les Paul guitar legendary and a favorite on the rock and roll scene.
You wanna dance with me?
Called the Electronic Wizard, the Rock Hall of Fame's choice is one of the most influential artists in the evolution of rock and roll. But how does this phenomenal jazz musician and prolific inventor feel about rock and roll music?
Some of it is just about 4 million decibels of noise. If you can't hum it, if it has no heart, no soul, and it's just loud and it's pounding rhythm, I just turn to another station.
Some of Les Paul's favorite rock and rollers are Eddie Van Halen, Bruce Springsteen, and the Beatles. In fact, the Beatles actually recorded in his studio.
Right in this house was the beginning of the Beatles. I admired them greatly for what they had done because I think they did a great deal of very fine music.
Les was inspired to create the solid-bodied guitar in the 30s. During those years, his days were spent on NBC Radio Network and his nights jamming in the clubs of Harlem. Like many of his other inventions, the guitar came simply out of need.
I've never invented anything in my whole life that I didn't need. And if I said, you know, it'd be a lot better if you could record all 8 parts and then mix them later and do all that. And there was a reason. When it was time for echo, I said, I want hey. And I said, there is no thing out there. You can't go to the music store and buy something that goes hey. So he invented. With the guitar wasn't right, and you couldn't go to a store and buy a Les Paul guitar. So I said, well, I'm going to have to make one.
Les Paul revolutionized the recording industry in 1952 when he unveiled the world's first 8-track recorder. He pioneered multi-tracking and overdubbing, which are now standard in the industry. As a performer, Les gives the people what they want.
Vaya con Dios, my love.
At the pinnacle of his fame, he had a popular television show with his wife, Mary Ford. The program lasted for 5 years and was filmed in the living room of their 29-room house in Mahwah, New Jersey. No doubt, Les Paul was a well-known jazz performer long before he transformed rock and roll. But even before he became a jazz legend, Les was a Midwestern country and bluegrass stylist in the 20s, playing with such greats as Louis Armstrong.
Playing country music, I fell right in with Louis Armstrong. After I met Louis and everything, I was up every night, all night, playing with Teddy Wilson, Roy Eldridge, and a million other jazz players in Chicago. Eventually, everybody came to New York.
While necessity was the mother of many of his inventions, Les Paul's motivation remains his undying love for the guitar.
I put the guitar away for 15 years. I quit inventing. I quit everything. What am I going to do with my life? I thought about it. I says, I always enjoyed working in a nightclub. And what if I did that? Would I be happy? Boy, would I be happy.
Les Paul's first 8-track recorder is going to the Smithsonian Institute in Washington. It also asked for at least 50 of his guitars to complete an area designed for him and a planned exhibit on the evolution of modern music. Coming up on Evening, Renee Hambley explores the high price of liberty. Stay with us.